Just a big gar like they would put in at Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, speaking of, I caught a big gar up at Perry Lake when I was in Kansas this past summer.
Oh, Perry Lake's got a lot.
Yeah, they do. I did a lot of fishing up there, and yeah, a lot of gar. Those things are vicious.
They are. They look like if you've never seen a gar out there, they put up a fight. They look like they're fish that look like alligators with barely big teeth. I saw my first one in Big Lake in Arkansas. It scared the living crap out of me, and because of those, I will not go in water where I cannot see my feet. So
wow.
Thank you, garfish. Everyone says they taste terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never ate gar. They don't look very edible to me.
Yeah,
I've always just
tasty.
Thrown them back. But no, answer your question. No, I've never caught anything that looked prehistoric or anything besides that gar. So
yeah, gars do look prehistoric, and they're just the strangest things. So if you were, like I said, there are so many things just running through my head right now that I wanna ask. I know you got a question, Ron.
Does he ever take off on just a survival trip? And how long were you out there for?
Did you hear him?
Yeah. Usually a couple days. I'm so crunched for time anymore to actually go on a long expedition lately because I'm a full-time dad too, so I'm constantly busy, so it's hard for me to actually take a lot of time and stuff. But yeah, usually I'll take a few days and I'll go out for a while and rough it for a couple nights.
But your daughter likes to go, so that makes it easy.
Yeah, she's gone actually. She actually got to finally go camping at one of my bug out camps last month. And she loved it. She just loves the outdoors. And you know how kids have such a wild imagination. And she goes, "Dad, I think the predator's out here." And I laughed. She goes, "You know that one from the third movie that has the dogs, that nice one?" And I just laughed. And she's familiar with all the Predator movies. We watch all that stuff. And then she heard, huh?
I can just see her, that little innocent face of hers saying that. Well, she does. Yeah. She has a sweet, innocent face.
I know. She's not your average kid, though. I mean, I train her in all kinds of things. She's got her own bug out bag with her own multi-tool and little camp stuff. It's not like a full bug out bag, but I mean, it's just enough stuff for her to learn off of.
I hate to say this, but you think that you're training her, but she's actually training you.
Right.
I mean, I can see it in her eyes. She is one smart cookie, and she knows what she wants to do, and she's making you take her where she wants you to take her.
Right.
So she's a smart little kid, and I do know her name. I'm just not saying it. So she is. He's lucky. He's got the sweetest little girl that is pretty and tomboyish at the same time, and he's going to be in trouble in about 4 years, even though she's going to be too young to know it.
So, I know. I don't even want to think about that.
So, but he's going to have to teach her some more about survival because she's going to have to be beating them boys off herself before Dad even gets involved because she's that cute.
Yeah. See, I also train her in martial arts too, so that's she's very athletic in that ability too. And we stretch, and then he does her punches and kicks and stuff like that. But that's one thing I try to do stuff and for kids as well, because I think this day and age, this generation is doomed. These kids, they all have cell phones, they all play video games, they don't know what it's like to get out and play in the dirt like we did when we were kids. To use your imagination. And I think that's where society is lacking anymore, is imagination. That there's just too much at hand that these kids need to get back and learn their roots, where they came from. So they can, when they grow up and they become adults, they become self-reliant. That's why I teach my daughter at such a young age how to do these kind of things, so that when she reaches that age, that she knows what to do, that if she gets in a situation, she has the right equipment, such and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where that would be important, and it keeps her grounded in multiple ways. If you're looking at it from a spiritual sort of way, getting your hands in the dirt will ground you in a lot of ways.
Right.
It's your cleansing.
Yeah.
It takes out all the negative and all that. So that's good for her to go out there and get a little bit dirty and be a kid. But it's also good in the other way, where it's going to clean the dirt of society off of her and get her back into being the little girl that you want her to be.
Right.
So.
And it also shows that her learning these skills, and even any other kids that want to learn these skills, that that they can learn. They're not spoiled. They don't always have to. They learn more. Their minds adapt more to getting out and learning stuff like this, and it's not just believe in everything they show in television. Or a lot of parents, they park their kids in front of the TV, and that's all they grow up to learn. And then they don't learn the proper skills to become mature adults, and and where they have to rely on, like I said, all this technology.
That leads me to another question. What about children and hunting? When do you think is a good time to take children hunting, especially girls? Girls are different than boys, no matter what people say. You treat them that you need to treat them. I don't think that's true. I'm the mother of 4 daughters, and I'm grandmother to a boy and a girl, and I don't see. Yes, I'm treating them similar right now, but as they get a little bit older, I don't see me doing that. I was watching Jason Hawk. He took his daughter hunting for the very first time. She's 10. I don't know if she's old enough to do that myself. He feels that she is. But what are your thoughts on that?
She wasn't shooting.
Yes, she was. So
I was gonna say I totally agree with him. I think as long as you're monitoring and you're with your kids, as a safety precaution, I wouldn't give my daughter a rifle and 10 years old and be like, all right, go to the woods, do your thing, come back when you're done. Because you got to teach these kids, proper gun safety. You got to teach them, first aid. If they get hurt in a situation, and it's good to be there with them. I say 10 years old would be a good age, because, you're teaching them how to provide for themselves and to learn these skills at a young age. But you're also there with them, in case of an emergency, and teach them the proper ways of doing things. So I think that age is, between 10 and 12 starting out would be a great age for that.
Yeah, and he was teaching her with a crossbow, not a gun. And they were doing some target practice, and then they went out hunting, and they were just too far away to make the shot at the time. But I was watching it, and it's like, other than the fact that it was a little too cold, that's the only thing the little girl was complaining about, being cold. But she did really well, and I think it all depends on how patient your child is.
Right.
Same with paranormal investigating. It depends on how patient your child is, on if it's a good idea to take them Can they sit there and be quiet in the dark? Can they, same with Honey, can they sit there and be quiet in a tree stand or in the bush?
Right. Yeah, it all depends on the temperament and the maturity of your child. My daughters are actually good at all that, and I'm not just saying it's because she's my kid. That's why I've actually took her on a ghost hunt when we went and did the investigation of the bride under the bridge at the Phillips Park in Springfield. She went with us, and she just calm, was very interested in the equipment, and had a good time. And like when I've taken her out in the woods and go camping and stuff, she's just very calm and eager to learn. And, that's a good sign if your children are eager to learn. And another thing goes back to this, this whole gun safety thing is they praise out. You hear all these shootings and stuff, all these kids being in school. And that what that is what I believe is that's crappy parenting, is because parents are leaving their guns unlocked. They're not showing kids proper gun safety. I didn't hear about all this stuff when I was growing up in the 80s of, kids and all these people shooting everybody. It's getting worse by the day. But, if you be one-on-one with your children, teach them safety precautions and be there with them, and guide them, then they'll go down the right path in life.
Yeah. And the same with me. I mean, we didn't hear about school shootings. I mean, you heard about family violence, but you didn't hear about the family violence didn't leave the house,
Right.
It wasn't a rolling gun battle on the way to school or anything like that. So nowadays it's, you can't keep kid down. Guys, we're at our last break. So if you guys got anything you need to do, this is a 2-minute break. So run to the restroom and come on back. You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. My guest tonight is J.C. Phillips. We're going to be talking a little bit more about what's going on in J.C.'s life and what we expect to hear from him in the future. So take that break and come on back.
Listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experienced Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore. I'm talking to J.C. Phillips. J.C., what is going on with your consulting business right now, your survival consulting business?
I've actually been busy doing a lot of videos lately, testing out new products. I've also taken on a new student that I've been training we've been doing some archery, and we're getting ready to do